Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. First time on the show is Matt Altman. Hello, Matt. How are you doing?
Good, good. How are you doing, Danny?
I'm very good. I think we've met a couple of times now. Was it just the once we met? I know we met in Austin, and
Yeah, I think a few other events in the past, but yeah, definitely in Austin's where we chatted the
yeah,
most.
exactly. Yeah, so that was our main touch point. So, and you were speaking. Were you speaking at the conference there?
No, I wasn't, just
You were just
attending.
you were just
Yep.
attending. Cool, excellent. All right. So today we're going to be talking about what you're doing at scale in terms of launches. Do you want to give the audience a bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, definitely. So I've been selling on the Amazon space now for about 12 years. Been in just about every category you can think of at this point, but kind of live in the supplement space. That's where I've been the last 4 or 5 years. Um, we've kind of gone through it all over the years and done launches in a million different ways, usually with a lot of giveaways. But we made a change because we just couldn't make money anymore doing it that way. So we started using brand analytics and search query reports to really dial in every launch we do.
Yeah, and so that was 7 months ago. You stopped, or a bit before, in terms of doing the giveaways, and you switched over. And in the last 6 months or so, how many
Mhm.
products have you launched?
So we've launched about six personally, and then another 64 through our agency.
Excellent, cool.
Yep.
That's a lot. And how many brands does that come across?
That's about 12 brands.
Right, cool. And so they spread across different categories as well.
Yep, all different categories. We're obviously supplements, a lot of food, snack items, electronics, home items, like really
Yeah.
every bit.
Yeah. And in the last 6 months, where have you found to be the toughest, fiercest place to operate within these launches?
Um, Honestly, we have a client that sells sex toys. That has been the hardest by far,
Yeah.
just because it doesn't
Excuse
show
the
up in
pun.
search.
Yeah.
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 But supplements is still the hardest. I mean, there's so much shady things going on there.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Can we talk about some of those? Not the shady, I'm not
Mhm.
saying you're doing shady things, but the stuff that you've come up against. Be quite interesting for the audience. So, top three shady things you've seen taken place and how you kind of rectified it.
Yeah. So one of the big things we see when we go into a highly competitive like supplement category is we're actually getting a lot of page traffic where they're basically bombing our conversion rate on our products if we do start to rank up. This is one place where we will do giveaways to kind of battle back against that and just make sure everything's evening out. But it's been a complete mess. The other issue that we've had is like the flat file kind of manipulation through vendor accounts, just constant ongoing. People say if you have contributions in every like back end slot, they're not going to happen. It still happens.
Hmm.
We have a product at least once a week that kind of has that same issue. But the one that we've had the biggest issue with is actually them ordering hundreds of products and then returning them all saying like toxic or different things like that and getting us flagged where they won't accept our certifications and then the product's down for 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah,
So, a lot of firefighting.
exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk about walk us through when you're planning a launch. Obviously, there's been 70 of them, and you've been focusing more on a PPC launch and then using the brand analytics and the query report. Break that down for us. Walk us through a process there for people. I know a lot of people will operate this way just as
Mhm.
a eight-figure seller and a brand owner and an agency owner. Be interesting to get your take on stuff.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake that people make in launches is they hold their ads to a certain A cost and they're like, man, I've got to be like under 50% A cost or under 100 for the first 2 weeks. At the end of the day, Amazon doesn't care what your A cost is. Like, does not matter to them. They're just looking at what is your conversion rate for that keyword versus everyone else in the category. So if you look at like one of our launching campaigns, you'll see on some of our keywords, we have 500, 600% ACOS because our conversion rate is still 14%. We know if we continue paying for those sales, we're going to rank and we'll get the organic sales. Um, but what we do is typically when we go into a category, we'll pull the brand analytics data weekly going back for the last 6 months. We really just want to kind of focus in and see who the top converters have been for our keywords. We'll then go ahead and launch a fake product about a month before we actually launch the real product. And what we'll do is we'll put some traffic behind that product so that we can get the search query report data for that specific product and niche. We'll then go ahead and pull that search query report out and overlay that data on top of that brand analytics data for the past 6 weeks so that we can kind of see how it's flowing. Rough estimate of how many add to carts, how many sales each person's getting. And then we're using that as our kind of standard go-to, hey, we need to get this many sales per day, this many add to carts, and so on. But pretty much alleviates any of the thinking yourself. All the numbers you need are actually there in those two reports.
Excellent. And in terms of PPC, how are you breaking out these campaigns? Are you obviously doing push campaigns, just single keywords, obviously trying to capture as much data that's correct as possible to make informed decisions? Are you focusing top search? Do you use other ad types outside of, sponsored product ads? Because obviously I believe that is when the correlation between that and A9, I've not really seen any proof elsewhere outside of sponsored products.
Yeah, we really haven't either. We do 3 campaigns at the beginning. More than 3 campaigns, but kind of 3 setups. One is exact match, single campaigns for each of the 10 to 15 keywords that we really want to target. We set each of those basically with unlimited budget for that day. The only rules we have is, hey, if we aren't hitting the conversion rate that we need to hit, cut it back. See what happens. And then if, say, we are looking for a 13% conversion rate, we're getting 20, we just keep increasing our bids all the way up as much as we can and try and hold 100% top of search. The second campaign that we go ahead and set up is it's a sponsored product ASIN targeting campaign, and it's using all of those ASINs that we pulled from the last 6 months brand analytics data. And really they're just trying to get as much of that correlation of, hey, these products did well for these keywords in the past. We're getting sales from their product pages. It should correlate us with those keywords kind of thing. And then the third one that we do is we always just set up a little bit of sponsored display across those same competitors. Really, I don't think it does much to boost you ranking wise, but we're usually launching with some large discounts and coupons, and any extra traffic we can push is worth it.
And in terms of working out the period of time, how do you plan your launches? I know, like you said, is that you don't worry about ACOS in the beginning. You're going to just go balls deep in and make it happen, right?
Correct.
But where does the point come where you go, now it's time to taper, now it's time to switch to more maintenance, bring down the cost and dial in to actually start making it a product that is viable?
Yeah, so for us, it depends on the category. And supplements and snacks, we have about a 3.5 to 4.5 month horizon on every new product that we launch before we're really worried about shifting it towards profitability. Yeah. A lot of times what we've found, though, especially in those categories, we have, I think, 3 of the best-selling keto snacks right now. Once you get up to those positions, the amount of money you're spending on ads doesn't really matter because the organic sales are so large. You're automatically profitable without even trying. Like the one that we just recently launched here a few months back took about 3 weeks to get to that number 1 position for the keywords we were going after. We spent about $70,000 in ads in that 3-week period, but now it's selling 1,400 units a day per flavor, and there's 4 flavors. So it's just crushing.
And in terms of external traffic, anything you're working on there?
Yeah, so we do a lot with external traffic. Not as much at the beginning. Usually in the beginning, we're just focusing on that PPC, but we've seen time and time again, if you take those exact canonical URLs and go to an SEMrush or an Ahrefs, you'll find products that just dominate in Amazon, and they're awful listings, awful products, but they rank extremely well in Google. And then we'll just try and mirror that strategy back. We'll find out where they're getting their backlinks. We'll go ahead and contact those publishers, pay to get those same positions. And usually within about a month and a half, you'll start to see your rankings increase pretty significantly.
Yeah. And what else are you doing in terms of marketing in and around that external traffic? We discussed PPC around ranking. What else are you doing in terms of what are some of the key factors, what you work on across those 70 product launches? And then we'll get into the realism. How many of them do fail? What's your kind of ratio that you see? But firstly, Any other marketing tips that you're using?
Yeah, the other big thing that we're doing quite a bit of at launches is we're putting a clippable coupon on like 25%, but then we're also throwing in a social promo code of 30 to 40% off and sharing it with Amazon influencers.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, when you have both running, I think your deal gets placed higher on the Amazon Associates page because we just start getting claims like crazy, and we'll pulse that on and off as needed to kind of fluff up the sales. We also do a little bit of our own kind of influencer push through our brand referral links, and then we're paying those people that 10%.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
And in terms of success rate, and then what do you do when inevitably with that volume, you've got to tuck away some of the failures? How do you get them out of the system, shall we say? Meaning, how do you deal with them as swiftly and painlessly as possible and then move on?
Yeah, so right now we're running about a 65% success rate on our products.
Yeah.
We've had 2 in the last 3 months that have just been complete utter failures. We didn't do our due diligence enough, and we had some quality issues. We actually killed the listings, killed the products about a week and a half, 2 weeks in, because we were getting so many negative reviews, and then just destroyed the inventory.
Yeah.
Our whole thing is it's a sunk cost already. It's not worth devaluing your brand on an awful product, because our whole thought process is get you into our ecosystem, and we're going to try and sell you every supplement or every snack that we manufacture.
Yeah.
If one of those is below par of what we think it should be, you're obviously not going to want to come back and purchase more from us. So long term, it's going to be better for us. In the short term, yeah, we lost $150,000, $160,000 in those 2 products.
Yeah. But then in comparison, it's not too bad. I mean, you said 50 to 60%, sorry, 60% success rate, or 65. So there's 35%. So that's obviously going to be more than 2 products. So are we talking that you've got absolute disasters? Some that do you just get rid of because they're like, they're okay, but we're just using cash flow money that can go into other products? I mean, how do you define the failures, if you like?
Yeah, so those 2 definitely utter failures. The other ones, it depends. What we'll do is usually every quarter we'll look at, hey, what is our actual like margin returns on these products? How many turns are we doing? Seeing if there's any way we can make things more profitable, and then we usually cut the bottom 15 to 20% of products right there, and we'll just let them slowly kind of drift out. Yeah. Sometimes we'll go ahead, and if there's a market and we have reviews and hey, we've just kind of fallen behind on that one, we'll go ahead and relaunch basically on a new ASIN, merge those 2 together about 2 to 3 weeks into the launch, and then try and kickstart it again. If that doesn't work, then we'll just go ahead and hard kill it.
Yeah. Cool. Is there any other bits of advice you would give to Amazon sellers right now, other sellers like yourself, right in the peak area of Q4 now? So anything you'd like to part?
I would say the biggest thing for us right now is we look at this kind of whole season because we sell mainly replenishables. We don't care what it costs to acquire a customer because we know our LTV on all of our customers. If you aren't grabbing that data and calculating out what your LTVs are, how everything's working out, like you cannot run a business. Like in the supplement space, everyone runs PPC differently, but majority are looking at that first sale. I know on every single supplement, like what our 1 year, 2 year, 3 year value of that customer is. And we're running all of our PPC to the 2.5, 3 year value of that customer because we're willing to sacrifice now for that long-term growth and brand where majority of people on Amazon aren't. So you'll come out leaps and bounds ahead.
Excellent. Well, look, this wrapped that there. I know you've got to get back into the fire again as we're peak Q4. Thank you for joining us today. What is the best way for people to reach you?
Yeah, you can reach out to me at matt@rightsetup.co or at our website. There's a contact form at the bottom.
Excellent. Guys, thank you for joining us today. Again, Matt, thank you for your time. If this is your first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.